Take a look at this. Show him how Ifreed's crew can sail.
Here! This is the Earth Pulse point I've been feeling!
No Therian and no barrier.
I must have gotten it wrong again.
I wouldn't be so sure of that. That dragon could well have broken its barrier. Or it might have been too powerful for the Abbey to subdue.
You could be right. After all, dragons make for the strongest demons.
The problem is, we don't know if it's a Therian or not.
Yeah. Let's stick with the plan and head to Stonebury to gather more information.
Am I the only one here who thinks the real problem is how we're supposed to fight a frickin' dragon?
I can't wait to take a good look around. Whoa, now that's what I call a view.
I agree that it's beautiful, but don't leap about so much. You'll fall!
I can sense many Earth Pulses under this place.
I figured you'd notice that. An intricate web of Earth pulses crisscrosses the land under the Aldina Plains. Mountains like these would normally take tens of thousands of years to form, but these popped up in about a millennia.
So the Earth Pulses have affected the land?
Exactly. Long ago, people wielded arts that allowed them to manipulate the Earth pulses and control the very land itself.
How could arts like that exist?
Perhaps they pushed against key points on the Earth pulses? Like how acupressure can improve a person's blood flow.
That's a rather forced comparison, but you may be right. Either way, those arts have been lost for eons.
I'm impressed, Eisen. You know a lot about everything.
Not at all. There's so much I don't know. For example, the name of these flowers. That's why I travel. To learn.
Aldina alabaster grass.
That's the name of this flower?
Yes. A long time ago, my brother showed me a picture of it in one of his books. They're fragile flowers. They die quickly on their own, but if enough of them gather together, they can survive. Fields of them form beautiful white carpets of flowers. In some cultures, they symbolize kinship, the bonds between people.
Kinship. Huh.
I'll remember that. You and your brother taught me something new today.
I'll never forget either. You better be ready.
Crash through!
Annihilating!
Just how does this sword work?
Don't touch it. You'll hurt yourself.
In other words, the rest of her is fair game.
Let's get started! Hey, is everyone all right? I can fight
Come on, really?
I can fight too!
If you want to live, get out of my way.
Let's do our best!
Stop fooling around.
But I'm serious about my fooling around.
Move it or die.
Crash through!
Who wants some next? That wasn't worth the effort.
Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time.
You're wide open! Fire kill! You're wide open! Who wants some next?
You thought I'd stop there? Annihilating! Did you think you could escape me?
You're fighting the Reaper! How's that? Good.
Is that all you got?
And another.
You're not hurt, are you?
No, I'm fine. Don't get careless. I was amazing, wasn't I? Time to dish out vengeance.
Die! Good.
Hey, is everyone all right? I can fight too! Oh my Well, that about does it. quickly.
No escape!
Wow, all sorts of things popped out. Yep, it's a whimsical wonderland over here.
I'll finish this quick. Blaze the wind!
Try as they might, it won't change anything.
Take a look at this. Well, well. Now here's a fine haul.
All right, now it's up to you.
Show him how Ifreed's crew can sail.
Time to dish up smoothie. Hey, is everyone all right? Cookie.
All right. If I were a Bloodwing, where would I be?
We'll start at the inn. It only makes sense.
Yay! I found so many blueberries! What are you gonna do with all those? Make jam? I'm going to feed them to my chickens. That way they'll lay eggs with purple yolks. What? You know that won't work, right? It sure will. The color of yolks change depending on what a hen eats. My grandma taught me that.
Actually, we always feed our chickens corn. Is that why their yolks are yellow? What are you gonna do with purple eggs anyway?
Tourists are coming from the capital again, right? I bet they've never seen purple eggs, so I figure I could sell them for a lot. Maybe I can even make our village famous!
You've thought this out. But will they really sell? You know what they'd make, right? Purple fried eggs, purple omelets, purple egg fried rice. Hey, would you want to eat a purple omelet?
Strange things sell, right? You don't have to be so mean just 'cause you can't think of a better idea.
Oh, sorry. Here, let me help you.
Fine. Go catch a whole barrel full of jewel beetles. If we feed them to my chickens, we'll get eggs with yolks like shining jewels.
I really wouldn't want to be your chickens, but... okay.
What a carefree village.
But you know, this is what really makes humanity amazing to me. Attempting the impossible. Reaching for the stars, just as a matter of course.
Aye. Though we may stumble countless times on our way, we can achieve anything we put our minds to.
Attempting the impossible, huh?
That's all well and good, but there are some lines that should never be crossed. Purple eggs.
Ugh.
A deal like this won't last forever. So...
Stoneberry hasn't had much luck growing just yet, but this pioneer town has a lot of potential. Trees grow well here, and the lumber is of great quality. Oh, we're also close to the quarries, so stone isn't a problem. As long as the demons are contained, this country will rebuild. The need for stone and lumber will soar. Best of all, this area is quiet, has beautiful lakes, and is a perfect place for a craftsman like me to work.
And why settle for anything less?
I do feel that you might be a bit short-handed here. It's hard to build without manpower.
You're right. We need something to attract new settlers. Maybe some sort of specialty item?
Is there any fruit or vegetable that can only be found around here?
There is a type of potato called the radish bell that we grow, but it's got a few, quirks.
If you want to attract people, you should just ring a bell. Come to Stoneberry, where the money grows on trees.
A bell tower, huh? That might actually work. We can even use local stones for the bell. The Stoneberry Stone Belfry.
It won't work.
Huh?
Try hitting a rock. Doesn't ring.
Ah, how could I have missed that? I'm still such a novice. My master taught me better than this. Think before you build. That's what he always said. I need to do better and not sully his name.
I was on my way home from a trip to Logres, crossing the Aldina Plains, when I saw it. Rain was pouring as if from buckets, and the wind was so strong I could hardly stay on my feet. From the vast darkness of the sky, a monster of tremendous size descended, like the essence of the storm itself.
A huge flying demon?
At that moment, a group of exorcists leapt out from their hiding spots and began to battle the demon beast. But it met their swords with its fearsome horns, and a swipe of its tail threw the noble exorcist's back.
Horns and a tail?
Where did the demon go?
I couldn't tell you. I was so frightened, I ran away and never looked back. I hope the Abbey can get rid of it, but the beast took out 3 exorcists with a single blow. Come to think of it, another person was there too. He faced the demon and told it to stop.
Zavid.
If you're going to the Aldina Plains, you'd better be careful.
The water around here is ideal for producing wine and spirits. I've been thinking about fermenting something new.
What will you make? This region's specialty is berries, so a berry wine?
But the chilly air and level of humidity here should be just right for making an amber draft, don't you think?
Considering the geography around here, the water must contain a high mineral content. If you use it to make a rice wine, the taste will be unique.
I've considered all those options, but I must create something that can surpass my greatest rival, Sleeping Princess.
But that's nearly impossible to make.
Exactly. Not an easy task, to say the least. Sleeping Princess is made by filling an emerald cask with water from an enchanted mountain spring and sitting it in direct sunlight for 7 years. The water's magic causes it to change color each year. When it reaches the same deep green hue of the cask, it's ready.
Solar fermenting, huh? It won't be easy to surpass a marvel of the winemaking world like Sleeping Princess.
True, but I've finally found it. The ultimate stone.
A gemstone? Will you make a cask from it?
That would just make it an imitation. No, what I found can only be called a natural rock filter.
You're filtering wine with a rock?
Deep in the heart of these mountains, I found a stone that absorbs liquids. I tried using it to filter a berry wine. The taste of it was unbelievably crisp and bright. It preserved the luscious richness of the berries, while adding a clarity that left me breathless. I call it Pure Land wine. There is no better.
May I have a taste?
My apologies, but it took me 10 years to make a single thimbleful. I drank that thimbleful for my tasting. It'll be about 50 years before I can make a decent batch. I doubt I'll see a full bottle in my lifetime.
50 years, huh? Meet you back here then?
I've never been so glad not to be human.
Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, they all grow in abundance around Stonebury. We even have a fairy tale about it. One day the ground was covered with so many fallen berries, they all became stones.
Stoneberries. Is that how the town got its name?
The spelling has changed some, but yes. Berries are an important part of this village. We harvest local berries to make jams, pastries, gels, and all sorts of sweets.
Berry-flavored gels! I've never had one.
We've exported our jam and fruit for a while now, but our raspberry gels are still being perfected.
Aw, rats.
Are the vegetables growing in that field special too? I don't think I've ever seen anything like them before.
You've got sharp eyes. But that's right. They're a rare species of wild potato. They're red and they're called radish bells. We discovered them in the mountains nearby. Sadly, the potatoes are actually highly poisonous.
Really? But they look so good.
They do. But the skin and the sprouts are toxic. If you aren't careful when removing them, it's Poisonville for you. Deadly poison aside, they're sweet, fluffy, and go great with butter. And when they're fried nice and crispy, they're the best.
So just skin them and sell them. What's the problem?
Yes, we've thought of that, but the way they are now, you have to peel off quite a bit before you get to the edible part. Peel one as big as your fist, and all you get for your trouble is a bit of meat the size of an egg yolk. That's why we're selectively breeding them. One day, they'll have only a thin layer of poisonous skin.
Why not breed them to get rid of the poison altogether?
With no poison, bugs will eat them, and they'll be more vulnerable to cold and heat. With potatoes, as with people, getting rid of everything harmful isn't always for the best.
Savid.
Well, hello, sailor.
Are you waiting for someone?
Nope. Just saying a prayer for someone.
Someone?
Let's go. Clearly there aren't any bloodwings here.
You're just going to leave? I'm right here.
Everybody has times they need to be alone.
Fee.
Right. Coming. What do you think he was praying about?
Well, for one thing, he was drinking a bottle of Thorny Forest.
Oh my. The drink you share with your special someone when you're going to be married for life! How romantic!
But getting your hands on that stuff is no small feat. I can only hope I'll get a chance to taste it someday.
That must have had an important meaning for Savid. That's why you left him alone.
Don't read too much into it.
You're Velvet, right?
You must be the one who's seen the demon we're after. We saw a big snake-looking dragon fly over on the way here. Is that what you saw too?
Yes, that's the one. It nests at the top of the mountain in Aldina Plains.
We went to look ourselves. No dragon.
It only returns to its nest on rainy days.
Rainy days, you say?
Oh, just look at what you went and made the weather gods do! This doesn't bode well. Not at all!
Thanks. We'll give it another shot.
Hey there. Our meeting like this must be Providence, meow.
We're in a hurry. Save it, cats.
All the better, Meow. I've just stumbled upon a perfectly nifty piece of stone just for you. What's it for? That's not a geoboard, is it? Bingo! I dug it out of some ruins, Meow. They were made by Norman Meowny years ago for surfing along Earth pulses, but I can't use it, so I figured I'd pawn it off on someone else who could, Meow.
Wait, Norman made this? That doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
Don't be so mean! We're capable of exceptional things! Sometimes. When a Norman speaks their own name, the board springs to life and whisks its masters away at top speed. They'll even plow right through weak demons. You can say it's our masterwork, even if we sorta stumbled on it by accident.
Huh. Well, then I apologize.
So we can ride this as long as we have Bienfu with us, right?
Well, kind of.
Do you have to use your true name to activate it?
Not my true name, no. My Norman name. Wouldn't that just be Bienfu?
No. Norman have a separate name that goes something like Norman so-and-so. It's almost more a title than a name. Often the name has something to do with what they're good at. Something like attack, or chain, or aqua.
Right. You could say names like Bienfu and Grimoire are more like stage names. I actually don't know Bienfu's Norman name, but I can't wait to find out.
What is your name, Bienfu?
Come on, out with it. We're in a hurry.
Norman Brave. Whoa, look at that!
Wait, Bienfu.
Your Norman name is Brave?
That is so deliciously absurd! Why do you think I've never told you before, Bien? At least the board works, Meow.
And if we get on this board, it'll move us around?
Well, about that. The board propels itself by pushing against Earth pulse flows. To do that, the board needs information on the flows. But this one here's a completely blank slate, Meow. First, you need to find the geotrees in each area. They serve as a conduit between the surface land and the Earth pulses, Meow. Once you've actually located a geotree, you can record that area's Earth pulse data into your geoboard, Meow.
Got it.
This area's geotree is right over there, Meow.
All right then. So long as we find more geotrees, we'll be able to use the geoboard to travel much more quickly.
Another victory.
Well, that's going to come in handy.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun to ride, too.
I could get used to this.
I'm so worn out. I feel like I had to sprint the whole way here.
Huh. Seems like operating the board saps a lot of energy from Bienfu.
Even still, this board gives us a strategic advantage. Brave here will just have to bear a little exertion now and then.
Yeah, Brave. Buck up.
I believe in you. Be brave.
Ah! Stop calling me that!
wish I had power like that. Take a look at this.
Show us your determination. Well done. I'd expect no less from Ifrit's crew.
Great. Let's do this one on Getsu style, guys.
Scout ship departing.
Move it or die.
Hey, is everyone all right?
I won't run away.
If you want to live, get out of my way.
It looks so deadly. And just check out how much malevolence it's putting out.
Which means it's not a Therian.
Let's retreat. We've got no reason to pick a fight with something we can't handle.
I do.
Oh, you're up for it?
What? What are you doing? She's right. Fighting this creature is a good way to end up dead. Oh, sorry.
Well, no turning back now.
Damn it, this wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah, a training like this doesn't come around every...
No mercy!
Blades of wind!
Yep. This one definitely puts up a better fight than your average demon.
Is there any hope of actually defeating this thing?
I'll do whatever it takes. That's my way. Sabine!
Yeah. I see you're out for blood, as usual. You knew, didn't you, Eisen?
Out of my way.
What? Are you protecting the dragon?
She's not a dragon!
Huh?
Back off, or I'll make you back off.
Damn, it got away.
That hurts, babe. And here we hadn't seen each other in so long.
Hold it. Is that dragon someone you knew?
I told you, she's not a dragon.
So, it seems old Check Out My Pecs and the dragon have some kind of close ties.
Did I hear you right? We're talking about a dragon here.
I know what I said.
But how could that be?
When Malachim are tainted by malevolence, a dragon is what ultimately results.
So you're saying that dragon was a Moloch Zavid once knew?
She must be who he was praying for back in town.
Yeah, most likely.
But do Malachim put out malevolence like humans do?
No, not by themselves they don't. But if one remains in contact with humans or demons who do, it will eventually taint her, and she will become a dragon.
What about you, kiddo? You feel anything weird after you got thrown into the Earth Pulse at the Empyrean's throne?
I did, yeah.
Can't say I'm surprised. The air there was thick with malevolence being sent on its way to Enominat.
If I'd stayed there, I might be a dragon too.
Is having a vessel not enough to prevent a Moloch from transforming?
A vessel can reduce the effect, but not eliminate it. By stripping their Malachim of consciousness, the Abbey exorcists seem to be able to inhibit the transformation. But nothing in this world is guaranteed.
Can a dragon ever be changed back into a Moloch?
Nope. Just like with demons, there's no going back.
Do they still hold on to some part of who they were?
You saw that dragon. What do you think?
Well, that's...
But Zavid still won't kill it. Must be his creed at work.
Eisen, listen. Whatever business you and Zavid have with that dragon, I don't care. Do what you have to. But I won't tolerate you getting the rest of us involved in it again. Do I make myself clear?
You've got it.
Good. Now, let's get back to the Therian hunt. We'll regroup in Titania.
If what Eisen said is true, then could I wind up as a dragon someday? Or Eisen too?
I don't know.
Guess it's time to fight! I hope I did a good job.
Don't waste my time.
You're just lucky I made it quick.
I'll end this quickly.
Hey, is everyone all right?
my time. Die! Eat it! No escape!
Well, that about does it. Time to dish out spells.
Eat it! Not good.
We won, right? Right?
Turtles, keeping tight circles. Oh, perfect timing, Eisen. I's got a letter for yous.
A letter?
Did you get a reply to that letter you sent? What's it say? What's it say?
I know everything that you've done. Repent for your horrendous deeds, you monster.
What did you do, Eisen?
No idea. There's no sender written on here either.
Who would write something so awful?
Who cares? If I gave a damn about other people's feelings, I wouldn't be a pirate.
I suppose that's true.
Forget about it. What's the status of the other stuff?
The Palmier made it just fine. But we've run into some troubles finding the Nordals. My deepest apologies.
What are Nordals?
Nordals used to be given out by Empyrean temples. If you collect a set of 4, you'd find happiness. Oh, so they said. Nowadays, there's only 4 left. Red, blue, green, and black. Even worse, nobody hardly knows nothing about them.
Dolls of the Empyreans. Do you think they're like that one we saw of Aminoch in that shop in Isolt?
Kind of. But these are less gloomy looking and more, how can I describe it?
Something like a quiet radiance?
A quiet radiance. That's perfect!
I think I get it.
I'd never have pegged you as a collector of religious claptrap, Eisen. Think they'll help keep the Reaper away?
Probably not. But in the off chance they actually work, they'll keep her safe.
Her. Hey, that letter Eisen sent off earlier was addressed to a woman, wasn't it?
Our little Laphicet is growing up.
No, I wasn't implying she was his girlfriend. Her writing just seemed more mature, and...
It's nothing like that. She's my younger sister.
I didn't know you had a sister.
She's the only family I have left. She and I live apart for various reasons.
I'm guessing your death curse is one of them, huh?
Mogiloo!
So that's why. I'd be happy to help you look for those dolls, Eisen.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Thanks.
I saw Benwick and the other crew members get into a serious fight over whether cats or dogs were better. I don't get what the big deal is.
I can't believe you could say such a thing! No conflict is more perilous than the one that has dogged mankind since the dawn of civilization! In the shadow of every war are the battles of dog lovers and cat lovers. Between each side lies a divide, maybe not all that deep, but unbridgeable all the same. I'd say we're lucky that the squabble you saw didn't escalate into anything more serious.
I had no idea it was such a big deal. So what side do all of you fall on?
I am, without a doubt, a cat person. Cats and witches have a long history together.
Personally, I prefer dogs because they can cohabit with humans while following rules. But I like cats too, because they're cute.
What about you, Rokuro?
Shigure liked cats, so I don't. But I like dogs even less. Always wagging their tails for their masters.
I feel the same way. Dogs will trade anything for food. Learning tricks, wagging their tails, getting friendly, and in time, even forgetting to howl.
I think that's too cynical. Dogs make efforts to please humans so that we can live together. They're friendly and compassionate creatures.
Then does that make you a cat person, Aizen?
Actually, I like squirrels best. When I lived with my sister, the nearby forest had lots of nice, fluffy squirrels that would let me pet them.
This isn't about squirrels. It's about cats and dogs. You have to pick a side.
If I had to choose, yeah, it'd be cats. There's something lovable about the way they act, especially when you spoil them. Reminds me a lot of my sister.
What about you, Velvet? Cats or dogs?
Dogs. They don't betray you.
You always have to be so serious, don't you?
So Velvet and Eleanor like dogs, while Magilu and Aizen prefer cats.
And Rokuro doesn't care for either one. That makes you our tiebreaker, kiddo. The fate of this showdown is in your hands.
It is?
Now that you're no longer the Abbey's dog, perhaps you're thinking of being one for Velvet's column?
What has that got to do with anything? We're just talking about which animal we like.
If you're getting so angry over this, he's going to have no choice but to pick dogs.
I just told you.
No more fighting! This is clearly getting out of hand, so why don't you all agree that you're Bienfu people and make up already?
And what makes you special enough to have Bienfu people?
Because I can be loyal like a dog, but also do my own thing like a cat. If you pick me, everybody wins. I don't think it works that way.
I guess a dragon was a bit much to take on, even for the Reaper. You should get some rest.
We all should. I'll just get the crew started on readying the ship for our next departure.
All right, you go do that. Laphicet, you should get some rest too.
I'm fine. It's more important that I focus on finding an actual Therian this time. I'm going to take another try at sensing the Earth Pulse points.
You're as stubborn as ever, Fee. All right, now it's up to you.
Don't push yourself too hard now, Laphicet. You hear me?
I hear you. I told everyone I could find the Therians, but I've only sent us to the wrong places. Eisen, is there any way to boost Amalok's powers?
I guess it's okay for me to tell you this. The majority of Malachim today have their consciousnesses sealed away to be used as mere tools for the exorcists. But originally, Malachim were beings who received prayers from people, and in return bestowed their blessings upon nature and mankind.
So you're saying that when humans pray to a Malak, the Malak receives great strength?
Yes, in general at least. Some Malachim, like me, buck the system and bring about misfortune rather than divine grace.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But who would ever pray to me?
Maybe you didn't lead us to any Therians, Fee, but it's not like we came back empty-handed. We found orichalcum to use against Shigure, and we also learned we can hold our own against a dragon.
Velvet.
So where should we go next, Fee?
Northgand! There's a big Earth Pulse point north of Helavis!
Works for me. Eisen?
We can leave whenever you want. Doesn't matter to me.
And I'm all set. Let's make our way to the harbor.
When I say prayers, I don't mean outright worshiping. All I'm talking about are earnest thoughts and feelings directed at you.
I see. So I'm already receiving prayers then.
Our next target is north of Helives, near the Faldes ruins. In light of everything we know, I'd say it's highly likely we'll find a Therian there.
Let's hope.
Then we should make our first stop, Port Helives.
With the mischief we got into last time, getting into the city might prove difficult.
Benwick, how are things in Helives right now?
That shipping guild that used to handle our mooring is pretty much toast. But for some reason, the Abbey isn't watching the port as much as they once were. Unfamiliar ships have been hauling in relief supplies, so if we pose as one of the transport ships, I think we can slip in. And if we divert some supplies to an unofficial channel, we might be able to secure a new mooring partner.
Smuggling in relief supplies for our own disaster. Cheeky bastards, aren't we?
It's what'll get us in.
That much is true. It's a plan.
Roger. I'll get right on it.
Hey, Eleanor. Abbey exorcists don't pray to their tethered Malachim, do they?
You mean something besides our oaths?
An oath is a magical formula that grants you power in exchange for binding you to a rule, right?
Yes, though that is simplifying it a bit.
When Malachim receive human prayers, they bestow their blessings upon people and nature. Eisen told me that we Malachim grow stronger when humans pray to us.
Prayers and blessings? I've never heard of that. I used to think the same way as the other exorcists. Malachim are merely tools that allow us the use of arts.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But Innominat is different. The exorcists all worship him. They have faith in his mighty power. And not only that, the people of this nation pray to the Empyrean for salvation, just as Artorias instructs them.
Ah, I get it now.
See the wheels turning, do you, kiddo?
Huh?
Artorias founded the Abbey within the existing Church of the Empyreans, so that he could direct the people's thoughts towards Innominat, so that even while they lionize Artorias as their savior, they are made aware of Innominat's presence behind him.
Everyone starts believing in Innominat. The prayers of the entire world go to him, becoming his power.
After the centuries-long decline of Empyrean worship, he becomes stronger than anyone today could imagine.
The pieces do fit. Oaths, prayers, blessings, the demon blight. So much in this world is affected by matters of the heart. They hold magical power, both effective and meddlesome.
We are truly going up against the rest of the entire world, aren't we?
Don't look so troubled, Eleanor. I'm gonna do my best to get stronger, so believe in me. I am a Malak after all.
Oh, Laphicet, you've become so brave so quickly.
Have I?
But you're still cute when you get embarrassed.
Hey, why's your face so red?
Huh? My face isn't red.
Huh?
Hey, Eisen. What's it feel like to get a letter?
I don't feel anything, nor do I want or need to. There's no joy in receiving these things.
Huh? Why not?
Don't be so shocked. Look, it's just an invoice from the turtles. What's the big deal anyway? Do you wish you get letters too?
Yeah. But I don't have anyone to send letters to. Let alone anyone who would send me any.
Laphicet, I've got a letter for you.
What? Really? Who could it be from? The sender is... Bienfu?
Yep. You got a letter from yours truly. I figured you'd be wanting someone to send you a letter right about now, so I wrote one up for you. What do you think? You're happy, right?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Bienfu.
I'll even read it for you. Dear Malak Laphicet, I hope that this letter finds you in good health and high spirits. Thankfully, I'm doing well myself, with no major changes to report.
Bienfu's taking all this so seriously. It's so rare to actually see him like this.
As you're aware, I've been spending my days ironing Magilu's outfits, sewing her buttons, and washing her hat and tremendously long socks. Recently, however, I made the mistake of remarking to her that she might not have been quite as slender as she once was in her younger years. She hung me upside down from the roof in the middle of the cold. I nearly became a frozen Normansicle. It was so horrible that I couldn't stop my tears from flowing down my little cheeks. Bien!
There's the Bienfu we know and love.
But all you wrote about in that letter was yourself. And you even read it out loud yourself.
That's okay. Thanks, Bienfu. It feels nice to get a letter.
That's so kind of you to say. I think I might cry again. Bien!
We've loaded everything bound for Helaviz. With that much trade, I doubt anyone will suspect us.
Any idea who can give us cover for docking?
Not anyone in particular, but recently the power and influence of the Helaviz Fishermen's Guild has caught my eye.
The Fishermen's Guild, huh? Let's bring them some extra relief supplies. Fuel, drink, and as for the drink...
12-year-old amber draft. The sailors of Helaviz have an eye for the stuff.
You heard that from Dial, I take it. He's got a sharp eye.
He took a bottle in payments, but I say we turn a blind eye to it. We thought we were the best at this kind of thing, but having him around has been a real eye-opener.
Okay, but tell him if he takes a second, he'll pay for it. Eye for an eye.
Aye, aye. I'll keep an eye on him so that he doesn't sneak off with another bottle.
The supplies are loaded. We can make for Helaviz whenever you want.
That was fast.
If we weren't hard workers, we wouldn't be sailors.
Eleanor!
Oh, what's wrong, Kamoana?
She said she had a dream about her mom.
When Mommy saw me, she said I looked scary. That she didn't want a scary little girl like me.
Your mother would never say that, sweetheart.
But how can you be sure?
Well, how do I put it? I know because I know.
You're just lying to make me feel better.
Aw, Kamoana, don't cry.
Oh, this is the part I hate about little kids.
I'm not a little kid! I hate you, Velvet! I hate you!
That's right, let it all out.
Stop it! Stop it! Mommy! I saw my mommy! She didn't want me!
She managed to cry herself to sleep.
They're not rational creatures. Sometimes you just gotta let them cry it out.
You seem used to it.
I guess you could say that. Laffy usually kept himself together when he was younger. But when he was really little, he had times like this every now and then. And on that note, let's take off all we can.
My liege, Dial, I leave Kamoana in your care.
I'll do what I can, but kids as sweet and honest as her are harder to deal with than corrupt bureaucrats.
An outlaw prince and a talking lizard are no replacement for a mother.
I do hope Kamoana isn't crying anymore. Yeah. Shush.
How long is it going to be before you send in another exorcist to replace Lady Teresa?
With these demons clamoring at our gates, none of us feel safe anymore.
You have our deepest sympathies, but we were sent here on a different mission.
That's what the last exorcist who came here said before leaving for the north. What could be up there that's worth all that attention?
Surely we're not all being punished by the Abbey for what happened with Medusa, are we?
That is not the case. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have business to attend to.
So the exorcists are just passing through town and heading straight north. Odd.
Ever since the Calamity showed up, everything's just gone to pot, I say.
Calamity? What do you mean?
I mean the demon who barged in and made a mess of our fair city. She's a nasty creature of pure evil, with an arm that eats anything that gets in her way.
Haven't you heard of her? The Calamity's been rampaging across the whole kingdom, not just here. Scant few have seen her and survived.
Huh. You don't say.
After the Calamity raised our ships and our port, the shipping guild fell apart, and our trade routes got poached by other ports. It's bad. The town relies on trade to make ends meet.
People are abandoning the city, and our streets are no longer safe. Not to mention the demon blight spreading again. Just the other day, a little kid turned into a demon. Just like that. What a world! What a world!
What have the exorcists been doing during all of this?
Well, Lady Teresa was in charge of this region, but she came up short against the Calamity and got a fat demotion for her troubles. Several new exorcists have been reassigned here, but once they arrive, they all traipse right off to the ruins up north.
This has to be Medusa's fault. If she hadn't gone and done something so stupid...
Medusa?
That's enough. This isn't something for outsiders to know.
You're right. Sorry. I'm really worried about what's going to come of this town.
It sounds like Hellowes isn't what it used to be these days.
We need to ask around and find out more about what's going on here.
Agreed. Especially regarding the Abbey and those ruins. I'm also curious about this Medusa woman.
The ruins part makes sense, since the Earth Pulse point might be there. But why do you care who Medusa is?
Just a hunch. Something tells me she's worth looking into.
You're not gonna look into this Calamity chick? She sounds like a real terror.
Yeah, I think I'll pass. I already know plenty about what makes her tick.
Are you all right, Madame Eleanor? Don't let those people get you down.
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern. But could you not do that thing where you blow air on me to dry my tears?
All right, I'll just pat your head then.
That won't be necessary either. But really, things are in a terrible state.
The town burned, the guild ruined, the Abbey all but gone. It won't be a functioning port for some time.
You can't fault them for being upset. They had it real good here until we came along. Those Hellowesians were like spoiled children.
How so?
Hellowes was once a tiny fishing village. The bountiful northern seas provided plenty enough fish to sustain their trade. But Flamestone gave them an easy way to get rich. And once they got a taste, they abandoned their old craft.
And now they're paying the price. But I've heard that the cooling temperature has covered half the northern sea in ice drift, making fishing much more difficult.
But the drifting ice carries tiny organisms, enriching the waters where it melts. The fish should be more plentiful than ever.
I suppose you may have a point.
We're ones to talk after what we did, but taking the easy path, then complaining as soon as it gets hard, that seems...
Spoiled, yes.
You said it, Laphicet.
I think my appetite's getting a little overindulgent, too.
That's not a bad thing. Just means you're healthy.
Giant squid come to these waters in this season. Should I ask Benwick to fish some up?
Yeah, and some normal octopuses, too. This Calamity is... us, isn't it?
Well, we've been waging war with the Abbey everywhere we go, and now we're about to take it to a new level.
If we pull the next Therian off of the Earth Pulse point, It'll likely be Kamoana's village all over again.
The same devastation?
Ooh. I wonder if there's something worse than calamity that they can call us.
This is no laughing matter.
People turn into demons in part due to their own malevolence. It's not like they're entirely innocent. But if there's someone out there who's being forced to act as Inominat's mouth, like Kamoana was, isn't saving them the right thing to do?
I cannot argue with that, but...
You don't have to worry. I'm the one who will devour the barrier. And I'm the one who will do what needs to be done.
The demon attacks have ground trade to a halt. But people are slowly starting to fish again.
Are you a fisherman too?
Aye. This town got swept up in the recent trade boom. But back when I was a young lad, this was a fishing port through and through. Ever since the shipping guild took over the docks, all of us fishermen got muscled out. Making this a commercial port has helped the town grow. But a lot of people weren't so happy with the guild.
It's too bad everyone couldn't just work together.
Once money gets involved, people change. That's true no matter what age you live in. The people know it's the ones making the money who lead the charge. But we follow anyway. It's human nature. I hope everyone changes their minds once we start rebuilding. But who knows what will happen.
Hey, do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Sorry, I'm busy. Try someone else.
Excuse me. My name is Eleanor, and I'm an exorcist on patrol with the Abbey. I was wondering if I could solicit your honest opinion about how this town is being run.
Oh, I didn't realize there was an exorcist with you. Yes, please tell the Abbey we want Lady Teresa back. Her governance was strict, it's true, but at least we could live in safety. Now, all the exorcists run off to the Faldi's ruins and leave us here in the lurch. They value some dusty, faraway ruins over the lives of the good, hardworking citizens here. It's just wrong. We've always been cooperative with the Abbey's demands, and now this is what we get in return.
I see. The Abbey appreciates your, candor. I'll pass your comments on to my superiors.
First it was the sailors, and then even a small girl caught the demon blight. I was sure it was going to start spreading through this town as well, but then, after that incident, it just went poof and disappeared. I guess I was expecting a little more after hearing how contagious it was. I wonder what really causes it.
Who knows?
I heard of this one village in Eastgand where everyone caught it at once. It wiped out the entire town. I hope the Abbey develops a cure quickly. I can't wait for the day where we can live without fear.
Poor Medusa.
Are you a friend of hers?
Yeah, she used to live just down the road from me. Medusa raised her daughter Diana all on her own. And then they up and murdered the girl.
Murdered? By whom?
The exorcists. Once Diana caught the demon blight, the damned Abbey exterminated her like a rat.
How cruel.
I felt just terrible, but I suppose there wasn't much else to be done with her. But Medusa, she hated the Abbey for what they'd done, so she barricaded herself inside the sanctuary. She just kept on screaming, all like, demons have feelings too.
What happened after that?
I wouldn't have been surprised to see her executed. But luckily, she was spared that much. An exorcist stopped the guard who was about to cut her down. Said, "Don't kill her. She's receptive."
Receptive, huh?
I think that's their way of referring to her deep faith. Before all this, she was a real devout lady.
That was certainly kind of them.
Medusa really cherished her daughter. Can't much blame her for blowing up like that. But the Abbey, they don't care so much about feelings. Reason is all that matters to them. They don't take kindly to people disrupting their order.
If you go north from Hellebes, you'll come upon the Thaldes ruins, which are Abbey property. Mainly, it's used as a checkpoint for hauling ore that's extracted out of Mount Killerhouse. But between you and me, I hear the Abbey also uses it as a prison camp.
A prison camp? Are they capturing demons?
Heavens no! The demons they kill on sight. No, these prisoners are human criminals. Not long ago, this woman killed someone and locked herself up in the sanctuary. I hear she got hauled off to the camp.
Why do you think the Abbey would use the ruins for a prison camp?
Who knows? Maybe they need a place to deal out their harshest punishments. The Abbey's not known to be forgiving after all. But these are just nasty rumors I heard. Of course, I don't believe a word of it.
I can't believe the demon blight has spread it to the city now.
Scary times.
Well, the one who caught it was a little girl, so they were able to deal with her before anything bad happened. But the problem was that the demon girl's mother tried to hide her.
That's only human nature.
These are dangerous times. We dare not let our emotions control us. One person's selfishness could endanger the entire community.
Right.
Thankfully, an upstanding citizen noticed something suspicious and reported the child to the Abbey. But the mother went mad and killed him in retribution. And what makes it all the more lurid is, I heard the man she killed was a fellow she was actually thinking about marrying. The daughter had been dead set against her mother remarrying. You can taste the irony.
That's horrible.
She had it coming. If there's anything worse than demons, it's people who can't control themselves.
So, Diana was a girl turned demon who was killed by an exorcist. And her mother Medusa hated the Abbey for it. And the Abbey is using the Thaldes ruins up north as a prison camp.
It's a lot like what happened to Kamawana, isn't it?
It's natural for a mother to love her own child. To make that a crime.
What I'm curious about is the use of the word receptive to describe Medusa.
So long as there is one receptive to divine power, Therians shall be forever reborn. If our interpretation of that ancient book is right, it likely means she's receptive to Inominat's power.
Meaning they brought Medusa to those ruins where there's an Earth Pulse point, and then they made her into a Therian.
That would certainly put all the pieces together, yep. Plus, if this Therian the Abbey created already hates them, that's all the better for us.
Yeah, I imagine she'd be willing to work with us. Although, it sounds almost too easy. Did I jinx it? I just jinxed it, didn't I?
Probably, but we won't find out until we try.
True. Let's head for the ruins.
And don't worry, you totally jinxed it.
It's a book titled Words and Deeds of the Hero King. The king declared, "My people, you must always live with great vigor and hold hope for the world and for our future. Man can turn reason into disorder, but also can we surpass it. Our true power is in transcending the possible to achieve the ideal. My people, You must live without hesitation. Hold hope in your hearts. Hold hope for tomorrow.
Transcending the possible to achieve the ideal.
Lord Artorius, I have successfully translated all of the documents left by your predecessor. However, I have concluded that, for the time being, it is impossible to form pacts with all 4 Empyreans.
As I feared. Not even my predecessor could achieve more than 2. I suppose using the 5th Empyrean is my only option.
Is that even acceptable? Doing so would require...
I will do whatever needs to be done. I betrayed my teacher. I betrayed the mission he gave his life for, that he entrusted in my hands. For a time, I thought I could bear the weight of my sins and go on living, with Celica by my side. But now, she's gone.
Yes.
Man can turn reason into disorder, but also can we surpass it? Our true power is in transcending the possible to achieve the ideal. I must bring about the ideal world. I couldn't protect the people I loved, but this, at least, I will accomplish.
Arthur?
Huh? What is it, Velvet?
Were you just talking to someone?
No, I was just thinking out loud.
Oh, okay. I finished making dinner. Tonight is prickle boar stew. Plenty of meat, but not too heavy.
Sounds great. Let's hurry on back home, then.
I don't know exactly what all that means, but it kinda sounds nice.
I suppose. Actually, it doesn't make much sense to me either. It's too dense for me.
Our scout ship has returned!
Show us your determination.
Great! Let's do this one on Getsu style, guys!
Eye of newt and mushroom spore, tender parts of prickle boar!
Scout ship setting sail.
Now we have demons rampaging through our towns. Northgan's really had a string of bad luck. The weather's gotten even colder, Mercio's port is blocked by an ice drift, and hardly anyone sails the North Seas anymore.
But relief supplies have made it up here, right?
It may fill our bellies, but not our hearts.
Huh?
If the Abbey truly wants to save this town, there's something we need more than food or gold. Lady Teresa! If only I could be pierced once more by those fierce, ice-cold eyes. Punish me, Teresa, my love!
Wow.
Can we make it so that he doesn't get any more supplies?
Lady Teresa, my life is for you.
Wow.
Hi! I was wondering if you'd let us put on a little comedy show. What do you say?
Sounds good to me. Just try and keep it low-key. I don't want to attract the Abbey's attention.
Ha! That's a tall order. Wherever we go, the boy and I have him rolling in the aisles.
The boy? Wait, you mean me?
I sure do. I'll play the straight man, you play the funny one. Don't sweat it. Even if you mess up, you'll be adorable. The audience will just lap it up. Did you memorize the script I wrote you?
Yeah, I think so.
Great! I knew you could do it! But if you merely follow the script and adhere to its every word, you won't be very funny. You need to ad-lib in your own style. For you, that's buttering up the audience and winning them over.
Ad-lib? I'm not sure I can do that.
I have faith in you, kiddo. You're gonna discover a part of you that you never knew existed. Just focus on finding ways to charm our audience.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, right! Then let's get this show rolling! Hi there! We're A Boy and His Witch, your partners in comedy today!
Magicazam! We're still new to the comedy business, but we'll do our best to give you a memorable show. I'm Fee, the cute one, and this blustering witch is...
Muggy-Loo! Wait, who are you calling blustering?
Meow! Sorry, I just suddenly felt like doing an imitation.
An imitation? Like, of a cat?
Not just any cat, a nearby cat. Meow!
You're losing them. Time to go on our charm offensive. Roll with it, kiddo. Every slip-up is just a new opportunity in disguise.
See? It's supposed to be a pun on how cats sound and how near is pronounced. I didn't actually hear a nearby cat meow like that or anything.
He's explaining the joke? Are you going crazy, Laphicet? What good does explaining a bad joke do?
But you told me to ad-lib to try and win our audience over, didn't you? I figured maybe if I explained it to them, they'd get the joke and find it funny.
Just stop. Even if they get the joke that way, it's just going to be sad.
I don't mind that. I'm not afraid of messing things up. I just want to make sure our audience feels valued.
No, you have the right idea, but...
I guess I should mention, Muggy-Loo's the one who came up with the script. She just made me come and act it out.
I don't care if it made the audience happy, you just sold me out! I can't work with you like this. No way! I'd say we got a lot of ad-libbing into our routine today. How was the show?
I'll just say one thing. You need a better writer.
It wasn't me.
The Faldi's ruins are north of Helives.
The Earth Pulse point is to the north, too. Probably in the very same place.
Helives is different now, isn't it?
Maybe, but you've changed too.
True. When I first met all of you, I never could have imagined I would go on such a journey.
I could barely even think then. But then Velvet let me keep this compass. And Aizen and Rokuro taught me to be myself.
They certainly did.
And look at Dial. He's a regular part of the Von Altia's crew now.
Even Restless Bienfu and Grimoire are now part of our merry band.
Yep!
Hey, aren't you forgetting someone?
Oh, and the prince and his hawk, and Korogane and Kamawana are with us.
Listen, I've got more part in this tale than any of them.
Hush. Whatever I'd say, you'd say it doesn't matter to you.
At last you begin to understand me. Magicazam!
Achoo! I didn't think Northgand would be this cold.
But Northgand was Teresa's territory. Wouldn't you have been here with her?
I think having my awareness controlled meant my senses were dulled as well.
I see. But the cold doesn't seem to be bothering Aizen at all. In fact, everyone else seems comfortable here.
If you shiver at these temperatures, you'll never make it on the high seas.
In my youth, I practiced the blade under the blazing sun and through raging blizzards. Besides, when I turned into a demon, extreme temperatures ceased to affect me.
The same thing happened to me. I used to hate winter, so that's some good luck.
But what of yourself? You seem to be handling it just fine.
I'm freezing, actually. I don't know how you stand it.
I loathe the cold more than anything. That's why I've armed myself with a secret weapon. I've stuck thin, yet powerful, Cuckoo brand hand warmers all over myself! I even packed them in my shoes!
Really? That sounds amazing!
I'm willing to share, if you act like a dove.
What?
Go cuckoo, like a dove.
Please share your cuckoo warmers with me. Cuckoo.
You're no Velvet, that's for sure.
Finish this now!
You don't want to make me angry.
Laffy said apologize for losing your temper.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, let the boy try to act tough.
Fine, fine.
We have a chance!
No mercy!
Wounds that won't
Yes, I know, I'm incredible.
Look! It's another ingredient for the Omega Elixir.
A unicorn horn, huh?
Hey! Whoa! Careful with that! If anyone other than a maiden of pure heart touches a unicorn horn, it loses all its powers.
A maiden pure of heart.
That's a pity. Nobody here fits that description.
I beg your pardon. Just what kind of woman do you think I am?
Well, when I think of a pure maiden, I think of a princess who's never lifted anything heavier than a pair of chopsticks her whole life.
Your view of women is completely messed up.
Is it?
Well, personally, I'd liken myself to a maiden who's maxed out her purity stat by her third playthrough. But I'll defer to Velvet.
Hey, Fee. Why don't you carry it?
Me? Are you sure that's okay?
Honestly, I don't know. But you're the one who wants to make this Omega Elixir. If you can't get the ingredients yourself, I don't see much point in keeping this up.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't worry about it, kid. Magilou's just quoting some old wives' tale. Unicorn horns are actually just tusks from a kind of whale called a narwhal.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
Eisen, you spoil sport! I totally had them on the hook!
At least we've established that Magilou wouldn't be able to hold a real unicorn's horn.
Well, for now, let's report our success to Vidal.